I had to go to the joint to exhale. Man, come on, man. Come on, y'all. This is real. You know, I'm just an adolescent. I don't know nothing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just reacting. I'm still reacting. But I just intuitively, impulsively, I just know I'm going to a better place, even though I got to do bad to get there. And that's, you hear me? I'm going to a better place, but I got to do bad to get there. Y'all hear me out there? Do y'all really hear me? I'm going to a better place, but I got to do bad to get there. Come on, man. Now, some of this stuff is just coming off the top of my head. You know, like that phrase and that comment I just said. But it's fitting to the situation of what I'm trying to describe to you as I go back through the eyes of a child, through the eyes of an adolescent who's suffering from mental distortions and emotional disturbances. And I'll break that down for you later on as the years go by, you know. But I just wanted to give you a tidbit of what we go through as children, as adolescents, and no help. Don't know how to ask for help. Don't know why you're doing what you're doing. You're just reacting. You hurt. You projecting. You asking for help by your acting out. You know, the judge should have seen that and said, Mr. Baffert, you know what? I'm gonna sentence you this time, but under the condition that while you're locked up, you get some counseling. As a child, they never did that. They never did that. They never did that. So it was a vicious cycle. These intelligent people knew. They knew they could help us. They knew it was a vicious cycle. They knew the environments that we come from. They knew the abuse and abandonment and the trauma that we've experienced from various environments. They know that. They highly intelligent people. The whole system, the social network, the judicial network, they all know. They knew, but they didn't implement a system for recovery, for healing, for change. We just kept letting us do this repeated cycle, keep the system going. Now, at the age of 17, I went to Pikesville, Tennessee. It's up in the mountains, way above Knoxville, Chattanooga, Cooksville, somewhere up in that neck of the woods. Man, and it was getting tough now. You up with the big boys now, you big teenagers, rough boy. It was tough. It was tough. It was tough. Pikesville was tough. You know, Pikesville was tough. That's where I learned woodworking. There was I learned some trades when I was at Pikesville. And the first trade that I tried to attempt to was welding. And I just couldn't quite, do the acetylene welding. I couldn't, find the right temperature and learn how to use the rod to create the swirl, to create the bead with the acetylene torch. I couldn't figure it out. The electrode weld on the iron and metal with the electrode rod, I can run a nice little bead, horizontal and vertical, and that part I was able to do. I couldn't do the MIG, either. So I was struggling in welding, so it was suggested that I transfer to the shoe repair shop. And I met my instructor, Mr. Cecil Cantrell. Certain people in your life, I must admit too, I forgot to mention somebody in Somerville when I was 13, 14 years old. Somerville, I don't know, maybe my testing was when they tested me out, maybe I was on the 5th grade level, even though I should have been on the 8th grade level, or the 7th grade level. I should have been on the 7th grade level, but they tested me out on the 5th grade level. So I ended up going to the 5th grade, 2 grades back. Because like I said, when they put me back in the 1st grade, when I had already went through the 1st grade in New York, I lost total interest. Like I told you, I lost total interest in school. So I didn't even try at that point. So, but we had a black teacher named Mr. Woodard. And Mr. Woodard was a brilliant teacher. And I loved his class. I loved being a part of his teaching techniques. He was cool with me. He taught me the Greek alphabets, taught us the Greek alphabets, Alpha, Beta, Delta. I think it was Alpha, Beta, Delta, Iota, Gamma, Nu, Mu, Xi, Omicron, Pi, Rho, Sigmaton, Epsilon. I can't remember them now, but I used to know all the Greek alphabets, And but one thing he used to do to motivate us, he used to bring a box of boxes of ding-dongs to class. He said, those of y'all that get an A, you get a box of ding-dongs. Listen to me. I'm telling you right now, I got a whole lot of boxes of ding-dong. I love them. I love them ding-dong. Them Hostess ding-dong. It was so delicious. Chocolate on the outside and, the cream in the inside. It was so delicious, man. And but I just wanted to go back to, to Mr. Woodard and his teaching techniques. Like I say, we learned Greek alphabets. We learned, he inspired us, he motivated us with incentives to learn, to be smart, to do more, to apply ourselves. He gave us incentives to apply ourselves, and I applied myself. And I found learning interesting again. Because of Mr. Woodard, I found learning interesting again. And then you know what? I never really put that together to just now. But it was Mr. Woodard that rekindled the learning fire in me again. I never put that together to just now. I'm glad I went back and spoke on him because he did have some unique teaching style, but I never thought about it, and I never realized it until just now. His techniques rekindled my desire to learn again. So, moving back to Pikesville, now I'm 17 now. I go to the shoe shop, Mr. Cantrell, doing shoe repair work. I found it fascinating. I love the smell of the glue. And, I ended up learning how to make me some sandals from scratch. Can you imagine me making your own shoes? Making your own shoes as a teenager? Come on, man. Come on. Come on now. But he had this big old machine called the Goodyear welt machine. The Goodyear welt is the shoe that you see with the stitches on the outside, the sole all the way around that they do, A lot of shoes, modern day shoes now are just glued together with good glue, but the real ones, the real expensive ones, they still got that welt, that Goodyear welt around and it's stitched, Because I got some myself today, But, the Goodyear welt machine, Mr. Cecil Cantrell, he was an old clunker of a machine. It had so many moving parts. I think it was like 300 moving parts. Mr. Cantrell told me, because he had that extra one over there in the corner. It worked too, but it was just a little older than the newer one. The newer one was old too, but it was just a little newer than the old. It wasn't that much difference in them, really. He told me to go over there and break that. He said, break that machine all the way down and put it back together. But I went there and broke that joker down. Like an M60 machine gun, a 45 Colt, an M16 rifle, an N50 rifle, machine gun. I broke that big old boy down. But I was smart. I aligned the first piece I took off. Everything was in order. Second piece was behind the first piece. The first piece behind the third piece, behind the second, and so on, all the way to the 300 piece behind the 299 piece. And when I put it back together, I started from the 300 and just went back down the road and put it back together. And I got the job done. So from that point on, me and Mr. Cantrell, we was like tight. He knew I had a mind. He knew it was something special about me, And for him to invest that kind of time in me. So the most important thing